name is Liam, and today we're going to talk about who is Roy Knight in Deltarune. If you do not know who Roy Knight is, Roy Knight is a character in Deltarune who is creating dark patterns to bring about Roy, which will bring about the end of the world, sort of. Kind of. I don't really know. I've played Deltarune front and back. I literally restarted a save file about 7 times, I think. So, let's go. So everybody expects these four suspects to be the Roy Knight, which is Chris, Kara, Father Alvin, and W.D. Gaster. I'm sorry if you can't see the full name of W.D. Gaster. I will be explaining all of these characters fully. I'll try my best to my can to explain them and stuff. So let's get started. First suspect is W.D. Gaster. Um, W.D. Gaster is never really seen, but he is mentioned lots of times in both Deltarune and Undertale. In Undertale, he was the royal scientist of Asgore, and he experimented determination to 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 make monsters more powerful, so they could overpower the humans and take back the Earth. But his followers say that he fell into his own creation. This goes into his motive, because he made the world of Deltarune. Maybe game theorist Matt Pat said this is in one of his Deltarune theory episodes, and Gaster X actually mentioned a lot in Deltarune, like I said. Um, some sub says this darker line, which is a reference to the entry 17 entry in Undertale, which can only be accessed if you edit the game, and the secret tree room, which probably Gaster is behind of, which gives you the egg. So if Gaster is the knight, then how's the ending of Deltarune gonna play out? Well, I feel like it's gonna be similar to Delta Traveler's ending in hard mode. If you get to the end of Delta Traveler hard mode, Gaster will appear and says that the entire game was an experiment. And this plays into MatPat's theory of Deltarune just being Gaster's experiment. I If Gaster is the knight, then Chris will probably find him in the room and finding out that the entire game was just an experiment, and and he- and he'll probably face Gaster in like some super hard boss battle or something. Although in my opinion it would be kind of unsatisfying. It would be kind of good for WG Gaster fans to finally see Gaster like this. So next up is the no, second suspect, Car/Demon. Kara was a child of Asgore Dreamer, the king of the underground. He died in Undertale, but he hasn't appeared in Deltarune yet. The most we know about Kara in Undertale is that when he died, he became a demon that only wants to grow more and more powerful and can only be summoned by saying his name. As for his motive, he would pretty much want to create Dark Fountains to become stronger, because that would definitely go to killing people. Subject that I hasn't been talking about is determination. Pretty much, determination is your willpower to like do something. So so probably so imagine this. If you're trying to do a super hard homework and you just power through it, that would be like determination. If I said about determination in the when I was talking about Gaster, I would say he has enough determination. But now I'm talking about Kara. He absolutely has the amount of determination needed to create a dark fountain. But the problem arises in his power level. Kara's demon is a reality warper, so he could probably just like create an infinite amount of dark fountains and stuff. So why is it taking so long? Well, I feel like this is gonna well, if Kara is gonna be the knight, then I imagine he will be like in a seal, and the knight is creating dark fountains to like open the seal and get Kara out, so he can finish the final blow and create for roaring. Again, Carr hasn't appeared yet, and it is up to Toby Fox if he sees this video along with the other Deltrune Viri videos. But I say Carr is definitely more than average likely to be the Roaring Knight. The next suspect is Arvin, is Father Arvin. He is the head priest of the Turds in Deltarune. In terms of motive, I'll get to that in a little bit. So, if he were to look like a knight, he would definitely in the dark world he would definitely be able to look like a knight as Queen says. And since knight are usually portrayed to have armor, and since Alvin is a turtle, his when he came into the cyber dark world, his cell probably could have made him look like a knight. He definitely has enough determination to do it, but the locations of dark fountains make some sense. And in the first dark fountain in the abandoned classroom, no kid was using it, and since he's the son of Gerson, who I'll talk about in a little bit, he will probably know about that classroom and make a dark fountain there, cause he thinks that no kids will be able to get in there. But the next two are pretty hard. Are pretty hard to see Alvin making a dark fountain out of. In the cyber world dark fountain, people would definitely be in there. So why would Father Alvin make a dark fountain where people are in there? Well, he probably thinks that the dark fountain will revive them when he brings about the angel's way. And I can hardly see Alvin being in the same room when Chris steals the cyber dark fountain, because the closet door is open. So if Arvin was in there, he would have been visible. So he probably is a super fast runner, and got out of there. But if we take his age into account, he probably couldn't have run out of there that fast. And the last Dark Fountain is flat out impossible for him to make, because we see Chris air quotes make the Dark Fountain. So Father Alvin being creating that Dark Fountain is definitely impossible. So his motive is so he can revive his father Gerson. Gerson was a teacher and a book writer, and he unfortunately passed away in the Deltarune timeline. Father Alvin wants to revive Gerson, but with the use of the dark fountains, which he can which he can make to bring about the angels heaven, which can revive his now dead father. That Gerson definitely has enough determination to do that. So Gerson is definitely the most likely one we have talked about. Now we have a final suspect. Chris, the main character of deltrune, and I just want to say something real quick. I feel like Chris is does not going to be the knight at all. No, but for those people, deltrune players who just finished chapter 2, but we literally see Chris create a dark fountain. So how could you not say he is the knight? Well, well, I just want to say rephrase that. Although we see Chris's body create the dark fountain, not Chris. Now you're probably confused on what I mean, and the reason why I think that is because of his soul. If you've seen the ending of chapter 1, you saw that Chris ripped out his soul, ripped out his soul. For and for those who ignored what Rousey says when you if you decide to fight the dummy, Rousey says that the soul is the very culmination of your being and holds your personalities and will. Which means when Chris ripped out his soul, that wasn't Chris making the Dark Fountain. It was another character that I won't mention. Um, so if a soul holds Chris's personality and desires, and 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 which means that Chris didn't create the Dark Fountain, then who did it? Well, this is gonna get really insane, and you probably won't believe me, but just hear me out first. I think it is the very first person we meet at the start of any Deltarune game. The vessel. Okay, you're for those pro Deltarune experts, you're just not gonna believe me. But I feel like there's actually quite some evidence to believe that the vessel is gonna be the knight, both factually and it will actually. And it is actually the most story-like ways Toby Fox will go into. If you actually look at Chris's body actually has some of the. And if you actually look at the vessel's heads, bodies, and legs, some of them actually look like Chris's body. Chris's hair kind of looks like kind of looks like the second option from the bald head. And Chris's shirt, it closely resembles the third body you choose, and the legs as well. The legs are pretty much are the same. This means that the vessel wasn't discarded; it was just repurposed as Chris's body. This is why Chris's body was able to move even without his soul in it, because the vessel is aware of his body. Is aware that Chris is inside him. So, what is the vessel's motivations for bringing about the roaring? It's actually pretty simple, really. Vessel was never accepted in the world. He was discarded as he was discarded by Kara, which was possibly made him angry enough to destroy the entire world because he was never accepted. So he was as so in terms of creating the dark fountains, he could have easily created the dark fountain inside the school, but in the cyber dark fountain, he couldn't be there because he wasn't in the library. And Queen also mentioned that the dark fountain was that the cyber dark fountain was built today. Which means that it could have been the vessel who made it. So, who made that dark fountain? Well, this is this is not going to sound possible, but I think it's Kara.
Yeah, yeah. Pro Deltrune websites are really not gonna believe me here. But remember, but I feel like car is like gonna be trapped inside like a seal thing, like I said when I was talking about Kara. And the vessel is creating dark fountains, so to regain Kara's power. So I feel like that the temporary that the dark fountains made made Kara had enough power to to like create the cyber dark fountain. So when the vessel creates enough dark fountains, Car Car Kara will be able to create enough dark fountains to bring about the roaring, and so 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 the vessel can find out its purpose in the world. Um, but the vessel will probably redeem himself by the start of chapter 7 or at the end of chapter 6 if when it comes out. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Also if you believe this theory, leave a like on the video.